Live in 3. Greetings, superior beings, greetings, supreme being. Welcome to Universal Peace Television. They're attacking my throat with their remote controlled high mems. It's done by the Jesuit infant eater Skull and Bones. It wants his third Jesuit world war to depopulate Earth to 500 million and rule the world from Jerusalem. So let's get right into it. Of course, the Jews have a missile shield, so Iran cannot pose any threat. And the Israelis have the nuclear weapons, Dolphin nuclear submarines supplied to them by the Germans, so shouldn't they be sanctioned as well? I'm against nuclear weapons and for dismantling all of them. And there must be a reason they cannot get the nukes dismantled. They don't want to dismantle their nukes. And the only reason can be to depopulate Earth to 500 million to rule the world from Jerusalem. Because a world war is a lot more expensive than just dismantling a couple of nukes. So I want to say that first, and Skull and Bones, John Kerry of course is associated with this Iran nuclear quote deal unquote. So let's read what the New York Times write about this, the Jewish New York Times.
Trump can make the most of a bad Iran deal. By Michael Singh Sept. 13, 2017. Continue reading the main story. Share.
Perhaps we should first reflect upon the title. Trump can make the most of a bad Iran deal. Are they now pretending that it's a bad deal or something already? Or is it a bad deal? Anyway, that might indicate that they think it's bad now. And it's like Trump can make the most of a bad Iran deal, but you all cannot. Only Trump can save us all. President Trump. They don't write President Trump, but Trump.
This page. Share, tweet, email, more, save. Photo. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson spoke in Washington in April after the Trump administration launched a review of the Iran nuclear deal. Credit Mandelngen, Agence France Presse, Getty Images, Washington. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said last month that United States policy toward Iran shouldn't begin and end with the nuclear deal. Washington's issues with that country are far wider, Mr. Tillerson said, citing Iran's meddling in Syria and Iraq, and its support for terrorist groups like Hezbollah. The Secretary of State is certainly right about that, but he elided an important point, without.
So be prepared with a radiological water filter and storable food, just in case. It's better to be prepared anyway. There's no reason not to prepare. And there was something else they may have erased from my memory, so let's first read on.
A stable approach to the nuclear deal. Questions about its fate will distract from and ultimately hobble broader American diplomacy on Iran and other crucial issues in the Middle East. President Trump, who campaigned on promises to tear up the nuclear deal, has indicated that in mid-October, when the next 90-day deadline for recertifying Iran's compliance with the agreement arrives, he will find that Iran has violated it. This could lead to the deal's collapse, but there seems to be little evidence that Iran is actually cheating in any significant way. The Iranians appear to be exploiting loopholes in the deal and trying to get away with what they can when it comes to the deal's limits on certain nuclear activities like the production and storage of heavy water. Likewise, they seem to be ignoring injunctions on missile launches levied by the United Nations but not actually included in the nuclear agreement itself. Continue reading the main story-related coverage. Trump may make Congress decide future of Iran nuclear deal. September 5, 2017. None of these appear to constitute a material breach of the agreement. The problem the United States faces is not Iranian compliance, but the very terms of the agreement. Mr. Trump isn't wrong when he says it's a bad deal. It's too narrow in scope, permitting Iran to work on its missile and centrifuge technology even while uranium enrichment is paused. More worrying, it's only temporary. Some of its strictures begin to phase out in less than a decade, during which time Tehran can expand its power in the Middle East, just as the United States' tools for trying to keep it in check, in particular, sanctions, are limited. But like it or not, the clock is not so easily turned back. Any realistic Iran policy must take this as its starting point, rather than ripping up the deal or simply acquiescing to it. The Trump administration should strengthen both the deal and the policy framework of which it is a part. Stability on the issue of the nuclear agreement will eliminate a distraction and create leverage to rally international support for a better Middle East strategy. That's why the United States should work with allies to more strictly interpret the existing text of the accord. Along with Britain, France and Germany, sometimes known as the E.U.3, the United States should close any loopholes being exploited by Iran, increase intelligence cooperation on Iran's nuclear activities and push international inspectors to interpret their mandate more broadly. These allies should also agree to enforce United Nations rules that aren't included in the agreement, like those strictly limiting Iran's arms trade. Working with these same allies, the United States should also tackle issues omitted from the nuclear deal, like Iran's missile program, through a package of sanctions, export controls, interdictions and missile defense. They should aim to prevent Iran from acquiring an intercontinental ballistic missile and from continuing to export missile technology. The United States and the E.U.3 should also address the problem of the nuclear deal's expiration date by jointly declaring now that they intend to expand and extend the agreement, rather than allow Iran's nuclear activities to suddenly increase when it expires. In parallel, they should seek to strengthen global non-proliferation efforts so that even if nuclear restrictions specific to Iran cannot be extended, Tehran faces more challenges to weaponization when the deal does lapse. All of this must go hand in hand with a larger strategy to counter Iranian aggression in the Middle East. Iran's leaders appear to be increasingly self-confident, perceiving success in Syria, Iraq and Yemen, and Iran is steadily expanding its network of proxies. To reverse these trends, the United States must move from generalities about countering Iran to specific aims. For example, preventing Iranian forces from entrenching in the Golan Heights, or deterring the use of anti-ship cruise missiles in the Bab el-Mandeb Strait off Yemen's coast. American officials need to communicate these boundaries to Iran and back them up with a range of tools, including sanctions, diplomacy and limited military force if necessary. These measures require help from America's allies, who are not eager to fiddle with the nuclear agreement or face up to the problem of Iran's regional policies. This is where diplomacy comes in. Allies in Europe and elsewhere know the deal is controversial in Washington, and they take seriously Mr. Trump's threats to stop honoring it. Policymakers in Washington should make clear that their allies' cooperation with efforts to strengthen the deal and counter Iran are required to avoid that outcome. The United States cannot subordinate its entire policy toward Iran or the Middle East to the preservation of the nuclear accord, and it shouldn't shoulder sole responsibility for addressing Iran's threats while Europe enjoys the deal's benefits. Even then, this would constitute only the start of a policy for addressing the challenge of Iran. Iran is adept at exploiting.
So they're insane and they're benevolent. What can I say? If they cannot even dismantle these nukes, they must be insane. So watch out. And be prepared, etc.
Chaos, which is endemic in the Middle East. Washington will need sound approaches to the wars in Syria and Yemen, Iraq's fragility and other regional challenges like the fight between Qatar and its neighbors. But none of this will be possible if there is an international crisis every time there's a new deadline for certifying compliance or waiving sanctions.
And I'm seeing a little message here: free access ends September 17, not September 11. Is that when the World War starts? When the EMP erases the New York Times as well? So what do you all think? Let me know in the comments. So what have we just read? What is the article telling us? Do any of us remember anything of it or whatever? I would advise both parties to keep that Iran nuclear deal. The Americans have to supply a list of suspect sites, made clear in the previous New York Times article. And otherwise the I.A.E.A. will not inspect those sites. And preventing a world war is far more important because Israel has missile shields. Iran cannot pose any threat to anybody, not even with nukes, and Israel has nukes as well, and they're not doing anything about that. Perhaps some people are doing something about it, but I don't know. Have the fake protesters that are paid to protest ruined it for real protesters as well? No, I think that when I look at the protests, I look at their slogans and banners, etc. And then I judge from that if they are for real or if it's just another paid protester, basically. So perhaps it's fun if I use a different procedure, if I check the article, read it myself, because if I don't understand anything I'm hearing because I'm doing other things in the meantime, then you all know what was read, but I don't. So if they're going to bomb, I've advised President Trump to first have an agreement with President Putin about that, to avoid a world war. And they want permanent bases in the Middle East in these countries. And we can see what they've done to Iraq and Afghanistan, Syria with the tactical nukes not covered by the mainstream media, and the depleted uranium, etc. And there are not many indications that it will be different now. The president's approval rating going up when he bombs Syria or whatever, Afghanistan, I don't remember. Which may be total fabrication, of course. I do not believe in electronic voting, like I've explained. They have wireless energy, they can put that counter on any number and control every 0 and 1 the computer is generating. And it's not doing anything else, it's just a program. It doesn't have a conscience, and it does what it's programmed to do. The neural network that controls people remotely, like remotely controlled robots, that is serving only the pedo elite, the Masons and Jesuits, doing this depopulation and possibly creating the third Jesuit world war to depopulate to 500 million and rule the world from Jerusalem. That's their goal. It's not something they're trying to prevent, like me and my anti-global government movement. So nobody is helping me, and the people in your skulls are against you. That's why they're not telling you what to do. If you're a targeted individual, what they want to do is exterminate you and depopulate to 500 million. And I'm trying to unite. You can see my previous videos. For example, my anti-global government movement program video that shows you all my goals. You know what, I think the goals should be of the real resistance to a new world order global government, of the Jesuits and Freemasons working together on depopulating the earth and enslaving the rest of the 500 million of us that will be left with this synthetic telepathy and directed energy weapon torture technology. So everybody is controlled by satanic pedophiles, the government is totally corrupt and infiltrated by these people, and they have the highest positions. So the Jesuit pedophiles, control the agencies. The intelligence agencies, including Mossad, NSA and MI65 and etc. And they control the brain control machine and torture weapons. And basically the strategy is sabotaging it for everyone else and depopulating them to benefit their group. Culling and depopulation, the Facebook page. I bet that's still up, and they hacked my anti-culling, human culling and depopulation. My anti-human culling and depopulation Facebook page was hacked. And speech errors are made by the neural network. So your brainwave is electromagnetic, and they change the information in your broadcast area of your brain so that you make these speech errors, and your favorite letter is the letter S because they are satanic pedophiles posing as righteous Christians, Muslims and Orthodox Jews. Okay. So whatever they write in their article is not as important. It is not as important as the fact that Israel has a missile shields, so Iran cannot pose any threat, and Israel has nuclear weapons as well. And they call these wars kinetic action, so they don't need the approval from Congress, supposedly. But in my opinion, dropping bombs on innocent civilians is war, and lots of Americans disagree with that. And the problem is that they cannot kill these leaders and pedo-elite that are protected with this system that is scanning their minds and through the wall radar, so nobody with a weapon can ever get close to them. So one idea is don't let them play you out against each other. That's their technique, divide to conquer. First splitting you in all these groups, religious groups, the capitalists and communists, etc. The left and right is also totally fictional, totally controlled by these Jesuits with their synthetic telepathy machine. And so are the judges, so a fair trial is impossible as long as this technology is on. But I'm gonna read this anyway, a little bit. Package. I've asked him not to throw them. First check the package, then the thing won't go away. The New York Times article. So they totally control the mainstream media, the fake news, which is rightfully called fake news because they're also using crisis actors, but also for other reasons, and that's proven beyond any reasonable doubt. So it's not a conspiracy theory, but a conspiracy fact, and I am still a conspiracy factist. Yay! I'm still there. Away from Hong Kong. Plastic street light. Hurrahs! The package I wanted to receive. My 2-meter LED strip light. Yeah. You can buy this under $5 on eBay. And it's really cool. You can plug it into the USB. It uses very little amount of energy. And you can vary the colors. There's one with the remote control and one with the button that you can switch with. You don't need the remote. Sometimes the batteries run out, sometimes the remote breaks or gets lost. But it's you can use the standard remote for the other LED lights that have multiple colors. The Philips mood light, or whatever it's called, that uses microwaves against your cell phone radiation. So it's best not to use that remote too much, or not to use it at all. Just put it on the color you like and leave it. But other than that, it's good, nice, definitely. So this is what the button looks like. I have one with a remote, and this one has a button. And it has button mode, speed, and light. So then I can unwind the whole LED strip, which has a sticker on the back side, so you can. Well, I like to use tape basically, so that I can at a later stage, if I decide to use the sticker on the back side, I can still use that if I want to. And first I connected provisionally to the monitor with tape. Oh, this is the outer end is taped to the wheel. They have these wheels with it, which look like old projector wheels of film movie projector, basically. Okay, it seems to have survived shipping, and that means I can show you all the thing. Of course, I'm still not wearing any underwear because underwear causes cancer, also bras. It has to do with blood flow, and it impedes the growth of the penis, so don't give children tight underwear. Females usually like a bigger penis better. I think perhaps it's connected to the idea that they're more fertile if they have a bigger penis. And that's formed by evolution, so our instincts, we do things automatically to survive, basically. It's all formed by millions of years of evolution. A fact some people lie about, though it's scientifically proven. And that's to find people with a low IQ that they can control and use as slaves. So So I can use the mode button. Problem is I have to stand here to change the mode. And I cannot show myself without underwear. Oh, this is red, blue, green, blue and red combination. That might be maybe healing properties as well. Blue and green combination, green and red combination. It's going through all the modes. Red, blue, green. It's an LED strip of perhaps it's red. Well, I just go through a couple of modes, and then if there's a nice one. This one demonstrates these colors. Okay, so then I sit in my chair and my penis dick cock is not visible. Sorry ladies, it's not allowed by YouTube. Okay, I'm ready. So it's 2 meters of this LED for $4.50 or something, and you can put it in several modes, etc. It would be an idea to also make a version that responds to the beat of the music, even with a new chip that would selectively filter certain frequencies so that it responds only to the beat or only to the high notes, etc. For now they respond to the total level, so that means louder noises make it respond, but not this LED strip. It doesn't have a sound sensor. Perhaps you could also build it yourself. So a new chip sound sensor that responds to only the beat to low frequency, to that kick basically. That's an idea. That can be built into everything, like their thing that responds to the total volume. Green. Speed. If I click speed. That changes the brightness. And if I click light, that also does something, but Oh, nice. It also has walking lights, basically, if I change the mode. Like disco light. For now I just want to put it on red only. So what I'll do is I will disconnect it from the USB, and then this is sort of reset theoretically. And then I can push the mode button. Wow, they've made it in a way that would probably take ages to find how to get it on red light. So I'd get the one with the remote control. It should also be able to fade and oh yeah, nice. The one with the remote control seems to have different colors that you can flip through. This may also have it, it's just a matter of pushing the right buttons. So what I might be able to do is put it in the USB of the PC. Then I can do it on camera, because it's not nice for you all if I'm trying to work with this and then it's so now it's in the USB of the computer. I can hold the thing with the 3 buttons in my hand, switch to the camera, okay. So when I press that mode button, then we see this happening. It's like a Christmas tree. So you can hear the clicking sound probably of the mode button. Ah, that looks cool in the video. Mode, click. And then if I press, for example, when it's like this on the light button, changes the color. So I see, you can see it on the camera very well, but this is a combination of blue, green, red. This is red and blue. Still red and blue, but different. And I'm now pressing that light button. This is blue and green. Green, red. This is only one color, red. And then I can press the other button, the speed button. That seems to control the amount of light, the brightness, and the mode button. Disco, disco, disco star. But I want it only on red, and all the LEDs to be light up to the maximum brightness. So I'll have to decipher how this thing works. I'm still pressing the mode button all the time. Try the other keys as well. So I might buy another one with a remote. Of course, you can put them in an adapter or other USB devices. So I'm just trying to get it on red. Usually I have these LED lights on red, it's the lowest frequency. The blue may also be good, it's the color of orgone. Perhaps I just have to use the mode button until it's in a steady colored mode. But I have also pressed the other two buttons, so it's let's do this then until it's on one total lit up color. Perhaps I first have to press one of the other buttons. Fuck, this isn't easy. Perhaps we can Google it to find out how to put it on a collar, how these buttons work. With the remote it's quite easy. The light button is used to set the control to static dimming mode while in any dynamic mode. Pressing the mode button starts the dynamic mode again. If I press the light button, it flips from red to blue, and every fourth LED is lit basically. Now to green, red and blue, blue green, green red blue, red green. The speed on off provides 10 speed levels for dynamic modes in static dimming mode. This button provides dimming in 12 steps. The button is also used to turn the unit off when it is held longer than 3 seconds. Speed button is on off as well. Okay, let's try that then. Now it's off, it works. And I turn it on again by shortly pressing the button. Okay, and the mode button provides 6 dynamic effects and the static dimming mode. So how to get it to light up all the lights? Mode and a flicker, candle, lantern. And I guess the remote doesn't work on this. So it does work on the one with the remote, of course. So, how to get it on static red? What button do I have to press? So basically, I want to show you all what happens. The mode button I can press blue, green, red and green, blue and red, blue, green. This is all not red, just red. All LEDs must be red, maximum luminosity. Other color combinations blinking. I want to figure this out, of course. So that is pressing that mode button until it's static the light button. Use to set the control to static dimming mode while in any dynamic mode. Now it's only blue. If I then press the light button, then it starts to do the other things again. So I first have to find static dimming mode, I guess. And the speed button will control dimming in 12 steps. The light button is used to set the control to static dimming mode. So this may be static dimming mode. And then the speed on off button would provide levels of brightness basically. This might be the brightest one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the mode button provides 6 dynamic effects in static dimming mode. Light button is used to set the control to static dimming mode while in any dynamic mode. I'm going to take off my hoodie. So now every third LED is lit up red. If I can go through the light button to get it back on the same thing. How many times would I have to press? Red, blue, green. Color combinations. I want all of the LEDs to light up red. I cannot get that with the light button, but I can get it on red, basically like this. And then perhaps we can use other buttons. Try the mode button, 6 dynamic effects in the static dimming mode. But if this is static dimming mode, then perhaps it cannot light up all the LEDs in red or something. I think it was on that in the beginning. When I received it, I plugged it in and then I went pressed the mode button probably. So let's try that mode button. Let's several modes, blinking, and then you can control the speed and fading also. So I want all the LEDs on red, not all the different colors. But I'm now looking at it, and I think that it may be like the red LED cannot become any other color, basically. So this version makes different colors by combining colors. So it's different from the remotely controlled one. The one with the remote is better, I think. So I think I'll buy another one. So then I have to press the mode, the light button I mean, to start the dynamic mode again. I guess I went through them all, and it's not a very pleasant button. Oop. So when I press that light button, it's in static mode again, I guess. And then with the speed button I can choose the amount of dimming. So I want to change the colors. If I press mode now, no, it does go to the other modes. So I have to press the light button. Pressing that again, then it changes to blue, red, blue, green, blue and red combination, blue, green. So then you could argue it's nicest to have all three of them lit up like this, because otherwise you're using only 1/3 of the LEDs. It can look really scary when you have bad lighting. This is really 2 meters. Oh, then I have to take it out of the LED. So the trick to get there is pressing that light button. Please like and subscribe. The light button changes the static modes. So I was not getting that this only has one of 3 is a red LED basically, so it cannot produce the colors the other one can. So you have to be careful that you get the right one, I guess. Let's see how this looks behind the monitor. I can put it on red and then compare to the amount of light compared to the other one I have. Now it's on red. So I think I'm gonna order another one. I didn't expect this. I think it would have the same, I thought it would have the same lights as the other one with the remote, but it's different. I can put it on the outside cam for you all, showing the weather. And you have to search on RGB, red, green, blue, to get these, otherwise you get static color lights, which can also suffice, but I want to be able to change the colors, and I'd like that, I like the dimming and the fading between the colors also. That's also pretty cool, I use that sometimes. So you can just fast forward to another point where I talk, or there's other stuff. I might temporarily halt the broadcast, perhaps it's better, because I've covered the article. So then I can do another broadcast when I have another great subject for a better video. Sorry for the interruption, I received an LED cable, so it is reasonably cool, but it sucks that only all the third LEDs are red basically, so it's not the same type as the other one. So you have to be careful you get the right one, and also with that spinning globe, most of these globes are just hanging there, they don't spin. So you have to be sure you get the rotating one. Okay. So I temporarily halt this broadcast for universal peace.